go ahead and move over to the salad. This is a classic Greek salad or salata. I had a lot of requests last week for this, and this is, definitely one of my favorites. Okay, so we're going to start off. You want 2 large tomatoes. You can either cut out the center or decap it, however you wish. I like cutting it off because when you finish cutting this in the wedges, you'll see the difference in the color. It's very vibrant and adds a lot to the presentation. Now typically I'll cut these in about 8 pieces, but I'm going to go ahead and cut them a little smaller tonight. Just that way so everybody can at least get a bite full here. Like so. All right. Grab my mixing bowl. And we're going to dice up cucumber. Now you do not have to deseed this. I know some people actually prefer to deseed it because they don't like the texture, and that's perfectly fine. With me though, I like the texture and the flavor of it with the seeds. And the easiest way for cutting this, get that out of the way just to make sure y'all can see good. Just cut straight down the middle. Take the 2 pieces and cut down. And then you want to cut it down to bite size, about a 1/2 inch piece there. All right, let's go ahead and throw those into the bowl. And the same before, we're going to be cutting, you would cut up a green bell pepper, deseed it, cut it into rings, but I cut these a little bit smaller so that way everybody can get a try of this. So let's go ahead and throw those in there. All right, next thing I'm going to be cutting up is a red onion. Now right now, the red onions, they pack a little bit more punch than the yellow onions. So fortunately, we're cutting these thin anyway. But that's, the thinner you cut it, the less of the onion stoutness is going to be in this dish. And I would cut these into rings, but we'll go ahead and cut them a little smaller today. About a 1/4 inch or less is what you're looking for cutting on this one. Once it absorbs with the rest of the dish, you won't even be able to hardly notice the onions flavor itself. Okay, go ahead and break those up in there. Okay. There we go. Now, we're going to go ahead and add some feta cheese. Same as before, the Presidente. Now don't add all of it, just add about half of it for right now. Because when you toss it, you'll go ahead and top it back with the remainder. Okay, now we want to add a zest of a lemon. Now there's different types of ways you can cut this and different tools you can use for cutting the zest. Almost everybody has one of these or something similar in the home. Just use the smallest setting and just lightly go over that, get that fresh zest right over it, the salad. And if you cut about half of the lemon surface, it should be enough for the salad. Okay, set those over here. You want to go ahead and just kind of toss that up a little bit. this is also a dish you can make up beforehand, but you don't want to keep it too long. A little bit longer than the Italian one that we made last week because you don't have the balsamic vinegar. But within 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, it'd be perfectly fine. Okay, now I want to take a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Just pour that into there. And then we got a teaspoon of dry oregano. Now this is one, if you want to use fresh, go right ahead. You will taste a slight difference, but it's just as fine with the dry. If that's something you already have in your cabinet, which most people, they have a spice rack that has this included. A lot easier to find fresh mint than it is fresh oregano. All right, and then again, it's salt and pepper to taste, which it doesn't really need that much, so I do it like a pinch of each. Okay, toss it up one more time, and then you go ahead and do what?
When do you put the olives in?
The olives, that's what we're getting ready to add in. Now I got 2 different brands of olives over here. That calls for kalamatta olives, which, you know, it's a larger, it's almond shaped, very plump, you know, full flavored olive. But you also got your traditional black olives. The main difference, you know, you can tell a slight or difference in the flavor, but you can also see a huge difference in the price of the two. So it's, to me, in this dish, just using a standard black olive, it serves it just as well. Now, if you're absolutely fanatic about having, you know, the best of all ingredients, you know, definitely go with the kalamatta. You will not be disappointed. But at the same time, with the regular standard black olive, you will not be disappointed either. All right. Okay, and as you can see, it's very colorful, very bright. Nice crisp, and that is one of the key things in working with this dish is the freshness. Especially if you have your own garden, growing your own tomatoes or peppers, you know, by all means use those. You know, our produce down here, you know, we keep local farmers and stuff, some of their produce here, so you still have that freshness. And you can tell the difference in the flavor in it when you try this. I'm going to put just a little bit more lemon zest on there just to top it. You want to, at least at a minimum, keep this in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. So that way it helps to revive the crispness of it, where you have this stuff sitting out as you're prepping it. By putting it in the refrigerator, you know, it brings it back to life. It's just like if you were to take lettuce or something and add it to ice, it helps it make it crisp again. Okay. Now you can add a variety of different types of lettuce to that dish if you want. You got regular head lettuce, iceberg lettuce. You can even add a little bit of spinach, bib lettuce or frizz lettuce, just whatever your personal preference would be. Chop it up, you know, fairly decent size, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch size, and mixing it. I wouldn't leave it as a whole leaf because then you get overabundance of a single flavor. And with this dish, you really want that freshness. You really want it to mix in with all the other ingredients.